But, you know, you have to look at your mistakes and just kind of learn from that, not kind of blame them on someone or put them on someone's shoulders.
So the bans are starting to come through. Elise, Cogmore, and Kennen, of course, banned out. And it was actually, yes, it was Gambit that banned out Kennen there. So they're not allowing the AD Kennen of Jim Bones to come through. And, you know, he went for Ashe last time. Kennen was banned out. Wasn't that great?
Yeah, I mean, well, he did play in the qualifiers and did kind of well with it there, which is kind of funny. I mean, kind of have a hit or miss kind of game right there.
Different strength of teams, though. This was against Fnatic, I think the Ashe was before.
I believe so, yeah. I believe so. But we do have Zinzao as being the next ban, which obviously will be targeted at Diamond Prox. You know, even Morden, because he's just an overall strong jungler right now. The next bans, I think we will see the next one, but the one after that, we're going to have to tell you who they actually banned out. But Thresh still available right now. And then over in North America, got banned and picked quite a bit. We see Mundo banned out against Morden, specifically since he played him last time against Gambit. And it looks like Gambit is really taking this seriously. They don't want to have another loss like they had last time because they're taking out those champions that were really troublesome for them last time.
Well, we do see that Ryze potentially could be available. Of course, the final ban coming through. We'll wait in a second. Vi is available, as is Volibear. What are we looking towards?
And Renekton, too.
As the first picks. Yeah, Renekton was a huge champion for Darien last week.
Well, let's find out what they banned out last year, and then we can kind of see where they're going for it. What Shen was the last ban?
Shen, the final ban that's coming in there. So what will they go with? Will it be a Renekton first pick?
I wouldn't say no to that. I mean, we do have Ryze. That has to be a troll. That has to be a troll. Or is that locked? I can't tell if that's locked in. There we go. So it wasn't locked in, but
no, you can see him scrolling around. It's when they stop, you can see them on the screen. When they stop to type, that's when you know they're not trolling anymore. Whoa!
There it
Thresh gets locked in. There it is. Wow, that's going to be Edward on Thresh. Well, actually, maybe it's not. Because we've talked about Thresh being support, but actually talking to the players, they've legitimately said, well, it can kind of work as AD.
Yeah, you have your own protection. I mean, you have your shield, you have that knockback, you even have your Q to kind of escape depending on the direction you're going or to kind of initiate. But we'll see how that eventually goes. I'm really curious to see how well he's played because it's been talked about so much how strong he is. And we haven't really seen anyone back that up just yet. But we do see Giants sitting on a Sonar right now. We still have Ryze available and Kasten, which are Extra's two most played champions. And then the Kennen being banned out, it's going to force Jim Bones to play another champion where he might not be as comfortable on.
Well, we do see hovering over Sonar. Sonar's been picked many, many times. Could we see the final? Will it be an AD champion? Will they go with the bear? Will they take the bear? Yes, they will. It's going to be the Volibear. So as we talked about, the fact that Diamond Prox had played Volibear in week one or week 2, suddenly everybody's playing it. Everybody's practicing it. He is the trendsetter, and everybody follows.
Oh, he did the same thing with Shyvana back in Season 2. You know, bringing up the counter jungling and being really strong back then.
Everybody insisted that she wasn't strong back then, and then after about 2 months of being beaten around the head by Shyvana, everyone went, okay, we're going to ban this out. This is too strong. Nasus, or Nasus, is what we call it
how you
in Europe. I mean, America been calling it Nasus all the time, but sorry, guys. Everyone in Europe calls it Nasus. Well, I do. And every other caster does. So now everybody does.
I am really excited. I don't want to get too excited just yet.
How do you stand as an American standpoint? Nasus or Nasus?
I say Nasus, but I also say Shaco. And I've heard Shaco called Shaco.
I call it Shaco. Yeah.
Well, we know what we're talking about. And it does get locked in. All right. I didn't want to talk too early about this, but this is the jungler I've seen Diamond Prox play, and I played solo queue with him. He played his Nasus. He went 9-0 at 8 on him, did exceptionally well. It was insane how well he played him and what he actually built, because he went basically straight tank, but he had so much damage because of the recent changes to him. So I'm really excited to see how well it works out.
You played solo queue with him.
I did.
Does that mean you're high now, or he's low?
I might have been duoing with someone.
Okay.
Maybe I'm so fresh from Millennium.
You were pushed up there, right?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe I was last pick, but still. No, I'm not even close to that. Anyways, we're going to see Caitlyn locked in for Jim Bones. That's pretty much, if it's not going to be Ashe, that will be his go-to AD carry. But Exter, like we're saying, Ryze still available. Ryze actually be a really strong pick because if you fling them, you're going to lock them down. We even saw Ari comboed in with this, where you fling, what was a double fling with Singe Volibear.
Surely you'd leave Ryze as the last pick, though. Akali.
Well, do you want to give that to Alex?
Well, I mean, Alex, it's his champion pick. He did it in the champion pick on the Riot video we did for him. We've seen him see hero, kill hero many, many times with Ryze.
Oh, gosh. Well, at least Edward has finally given us a champion that isn't Victor to troll with.
Yeah.
I have to say that's kind of refreshing to see. But yeah, I mean, you still have a lot of champions. You have Twisted Fate still available, which Alex Siege has been playing quite a bit.
That could be AP Ezreal. It could. It's legitimately possible. I keep saying legitimate a lot today, but it's possible.
It is. I mean, we saw Expeke playing at Intel Extreme Masters Katowice versus, I believe it was Absolute Legends Poland at the time, did, well, insanely well.
There's
but
Kale.
Yeah, we do see.
And this is interesting because this is a champion that Scar has talked about a lot. Every time we see Dignitas, they're like, well, we had a whole strategy planned out, but then they gave us Kale. And is that a similar type of situation for the European scene? You know, if they get Kale, everybody considers it OP.
Well, I mean, it synergizes really well with Renekton because you have to look at the armor shred that happens because of that. You have the slice and dice with Renekton to drop off the armor. You have the
intervention is the big thing.
And then intervention on top of that. But you also have the Wither off Nasus, which is such a strong spell. We've seen it on the LCS. I won't tell you the game or anything like that, but if you can land that Wither onto the AD carry, they're pretty much shut down for the entire duration on that because they can't attack. Any attack speed they get is going to pretty much be mitigated completely. So they have a really strong team right now. It's just all about, so far, this Thresh and how well it's going to work.
This is the different team composition we're possibly seeing from Giants here. This is very different.
So this definitely shows they've been practicing a lot of different things because they realize you can't run the same composition every single time because you'll be countered like Fnatic did against them. They had that poke comp and then they would hard engage once they, or actually, sorry, they had a hard disengage as well on top of that to run away when they initiated, then we'll just turn the fight right back against them. But all these champions being locked in, it looks like that Thresh will, in fact, be as support. And Genja, which we haven't touched on, but even last week he was running Ghost Cleanse.
He was running Ghost Cleanse, yeah. But I also want to talk about Nasus. Nasus, the fact, you know, we've talked about obviously the fact in the name, but Jungle Nasus, I think we saw Jungle Nasus last night in the LCS, if I'm not mistaken.
We saw him top in a hot shot.
And we did see Kobe obviously talking about, we did see obviously top, hot shot was top. But we talked about the fact that Nasus has changed in this patch. He can build up a lot more with his Q off those major minions in the jungle.
Yeah, and there's always going to be at least one per... at most one per camp, which really gives you quite a bit. It just really depends on how you want to level up your skills a little bit. But with mixing the Spirit Fire on top of that, on top of the damage you get, mix in the shred out of Renekton, the shred off of Kale. That's a lot of armor you're not going to have anymore. And this is the kind of composition they've been working with over the past couple of weeks, where they just kind of substitute Nasus for Xin Zhao.
So what do we think? What do we see between the two team compositions of these? Giants, of course, beaten Gambit before. Have Gambit pulled something new out here that could well upset the apple cart?
I think so. I'm really loving the whole composition that Gambit's running right now. Giants, I'm really curious to see because it looks like they're very confident in this new kind of strategy they're running with. So that kind of gives you something to look forward to as well. But just the Nasus, the amount of shred that Gambit has, you cannot build really armor against it. You have to build that health. But the Akali, I guess that's really going to be the story. It's really up to Samix to kind of carry his team because Akali snowballs so hard. We saw Wicked playing her. I believe that was, week 1. And just completely dominated the first game, but the second one versus SK, he got kind of shut out completely, but that was because of the casted out Expeke.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, is week 3 Gambit Gaming versus Giants. And well, it is on your screen, the red team of Giants playing from top to bottom, and of course, Gambit down the bottom as the blue team. Everybody starting out even, everybody buying out their first items, and you're seeing an ooh. Oh
yeah, I was just looking at Nasus because he has that 14% life steal from his passive, which I mean it's really a strong factor in the jungle because you can have Morden, on Volibear, he can pretty much tank blue down to his passive being proc to get back to full health almost, and not have to use that smite. But Nasus as well has really great sustain in the jungle on top of the big minions giving you that health and mana back. Just really curious. I'm just really curious to see how well it does because it's one of those champions that you don't see too much play in the jungle. But Diamond's always been known for bringing those champions out.
Well, we see the exploration ward being put out there by Babetta. And as it stands, Edward not quite put his out yet. Did manage to put a ward down in that river. Went very early round. We're seeing a possible late invade here from Giants, and Diamond is there, so they're going to catch it out. Well, Edward just missing over the Piltover. And Diamond, you're not going to be able to take that ward down. Does manage to get one hit on it. But immediately Giants back away. Getting that early ward against the Wraiths. And, well, we've seen many teams discover you have to early ward against Gambit.
Yeah, it's a really big mind game as well because it really forces Diamond to change his jungle path he wants to go unless they want to put a pink ward down and take it away. But as you see, Edward and them at the bottom. We do save Darren actually going head-to-head against Samix right off the bat. And one thing we should touch on real quick while we have time is Akali's been changed in the patch because you no longer need that attack damage and the AP to get your double passives up. It automatically comes up. So you can rune a little bit differently. I believe it was Kobe talking about that with Voidboy, who was playing Akali. So we're going to see how well that actually has worked out for that champion in general. And, well, I just love seeing that Thresh. I don't know. Something about it.
It's definitely a new champion here in the LCS. It's interesting to see he does get picked out second game of the day. Edward helping out Diamond Prox in that mid lane. So let's go through the lanes as they are. It's looking like people are going to be fairly standard throughout this game. Are we expecting to see Giants be the more aggressive, though?
Well, they didn't go for any kind of lane switches. They have a car on the top lane who's going to have a tough time against Renekton, who's a pretty strong counter to her. I think it's mostly just going to come down to the bot lane because Thresh, like I was saying before, one of those champions you don't see too often yet. I'm assuming most people don't fully know how well he can be played, so they have to really be cautious about that factor. Top lane not going to be really anything happening until at least level 6. Same with the mid lane where, Exter can kind of roam around the map and help out. But as well, Morden, if he can apply some pressure like we saw Cyanide do last game, can really create opportunities for his team.
Well, I mean, and it's interesting you talk about how, like, teams don't know how well it can be. There's a reason that, obviously, us at Riot Games, we don't pull out, I'm just going to see whether they go for Samux at the top here. We don't let them have these champions so early on. A, we want to make sure there's no bugs involved, and B, it gives the teams plenty of time to work it out. We are seeing a potential. The first blood is down the bottom. That was Edward picking up the kill, but it's Samux with concentrating on this top lane. They're going to come in. He's invisible at the moment, and he will just walk away from that one. Very easily avoided by Samux there. And that bottom lane, well, it was Babetta that went down to Edward.
Yeah, and that just shows, how strong. Well, that just shows Edward's style. Kill stealing that, or kill securing that away. But, he did use that Ignite. They did get that first blood onto Babetta, which it's Sona. You're so squishy. You have Diamond still on the top side trying to go for a gank here, but that stealth is really allowing Samux to, mitigate that entire threat.
Going to take some lane tax instead and get a couple of Q building up there. As it is, he will manage to build that Q. We're going to try and keep our eye on that Q. Obviously, whether he's going to be a little bit different. They're going to keep pressuring this top lane. He's sticking around here for a lot longer.
Yeah, the whole point of that is just to deny as much CS as possible to Samux, because you're really threatening him if he tries to push out, try to get the minions, as you saw him just miss 2 in a row right there. Finally does pick up one right there, but you're denying a lot of CS. You're really denying him the opportunity to get caught up. And then also, Renekton can back away, and now you're letting Diamond get this free farm in the top lane to make his Q that much stronger.
And of course the Q, if you're unaware, it does build up, gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on. And that's something we're expecting to see. The Lantern, that's what we may well see a lot of, especially with Arcane Shift as well. We could see some fancy moves coming out from Genja. We'll keep our eye on that one to see whether Thresh does manage to pull out something crazy, especially when it's Edward playing. That's what I'm expecting. We saw
Crepo, if you guys noticed that on Reddit, doing a 1v2 basically against a Vayne. And I can't remember the other champion. Vayne and a... Come on, dude, you gotta help me out here. Who was it?
I didn't actually see it.
Oh, you didn't actually see it? Okay. Well, he did a 1v2.
I was in the hotel, just said no.
But yeah, he did a 1v2, and he had actually, I believe it was health runes per level, or just flat health quints to help him get that extra tankiness. And that's kind of what I'm leading to, is if Edward gets a little bit tanky late game, he can put his Lantern behind him, as someone grabs onto it, flash in to give that really strong initiate over to Darien, or even to Diamond, because that's the hard thing about Nasus. If you can be kited, then you're going to have a really hard time doing what you need to be effective in these fights.
I can tell you that he was actually saved by, technically, I don't know if it's a bug, but it's the fact that you eat the biscuit and the potion in the right order. Can you double use it?
I believe it was originally like that, and then it got changed, but then it got re-added back in. I believe so. But we do see Edward getting a nice pull. Actually does commit to it and gets over-committed.
Diving on towards Jim Bones there, and here comes Diamond out of the jungle. He has managed to get the hit. Babetta's going to take a lot of damage here. Just one more hit should do it. It's Genja that picks it up. Will Jim Bones be able to turn it around? No, he will not. He managed to lay a lot of damage down, but it was split. It wasn't focused. It was on Edward and Genja split across.
That was, that's the power of Nasus. They knew Babetta had no flash to get away. With that weather, you're not going to escape at all. And looking at the mid lane being pretty much passive so far. No one's really gotten any action done. They're all setting up relatively good health. You have Alex trying to bait them in here. Actually starts the other way around.
He does bait them in. There's going to be an intervention. He manages to flip him out. Of course, he's got to flash away. Is it going to be enough? Didn't you have the stun gun? Oh, the damage turns back around. Extermin goes down, but Morden does manage to get the kill on towards Alex Each.
Even though Giants came out ahead in that entire fight, they got the assist. They're going to get a lot of CS denied over to Alex, but still great play by him to at least get something out of nothing right there. And still Diamond, he's sitting at 25 CS right now. He's been farming up a little bit. Taking a look at his Q, he already has plus 57 on it. 6.5 minutes into the game. That's just devastating.
That is going to be hurting later on. And of course, pair that with Renekton. It's It's going to be a heck of a lot of damage. And see Diamond clearing out the farm in there. Edward keeping the bottom lane away on your screens. Let's have a look across the CS. You can see it's fairly even across the board at the moment. Just 5 CFs splitting most of the lanes. Of course, we have seen the more aggressive currently being Diamond Prox, but Morden is in the unpositioned jungle, and he's been there quite a few times because every time Diamond Prox shows himself around the map, Morden is there, ready and waiting to farm out the Wraiths, the red buff. I think he even went for the golems.
Yeah, and the thing is, as long as we don't see any buffs taken away from Gambit's side, it's not going to matter too much because he visits a lane, he pushes the lane up, he allows his lane partner to back out, and then he takes some farm from that. So he keeps stacking that Q, he keeps getting the items, the gold he needs. As you see him taking his red right now. And one thing we should probably touch on a little bit about Thresh, since actually in the meantime we just see the gank on the mid lane on Alex again. He has no flash to get away this time.
He's going to get in there, he's going to be stunned, going to get the flip. Is it going to be enough? He's going to take one tower hit. You can see immediately the damage being reversed there. Extermin pulls out the stun card, should get enough. Yes, it will. Extermin takes down Alex Inch. Here comes Diamond Prox, so going to try and turn it back around. They're both stood on top of a ward, and Diamond Prox is not going to chase.
And that Twisted Fate pick working out so well so far with that Volibear combo. They're just shutting down Alex pretty well. Even though he's ahead in CS, they had those 2 kills onto him and both of them over to Exter. But real quick, back on a Thresh, just since if you guys haven't played him or haven't seen him play too much, his passive is what he's all about because he doesn't gain armor, magic, resist per level. He gains, he gains armor and AP through these souls you'll see drop on the ground. There's a guaranteed one off of every big minion or every champion, and there's a chance off every small one. So that's how he kind of, as you see right there, you can throw the lantern to pick him up as well. And that's how he keeps getting stronger throughout the game. You don't need items for AP. You don't need items for armor too much, as he's already sitting at 68 flat and 26 AP. I mean, that's just what's so strong about Thresh. You don't really need the items to get the tankiness and the damage you need, so you can afford to put them in other places.
So we'll see and keep our eye on that, how that gains up there. Blue buff being given across to Extermin. We see the blue buff also being picked up for Gambit as well. So
I think he's an
equal farming. I think he may take it himself here, Diamond. Is he going to give it across to Alex? No, here comes Alex. He's going to definitely have that one away. How are the top lanes looking? 53 CS to 48. And we do see Akali of Samux slowly building up. And as it stands, is he going? What is he going for? He's not going for Zhonya's. Yeah. He is going for Zhonya's straight away.
No, I don't think it's his first item. It's just the Seeker's Arm Guard just to survive the laning phase, because it gives you a lot of good benefits. The armor gives you is really nice to go against that Renekton. But he's going to keep it at that throughout the early game, then maybe build into that Gunblade, which is a really core item we've seen a lot of callers doing. And then even a Riley's on top of that, because you're going to need that health on Samux. If you get caught, we do see Nagash actually daring going head-to-head against him, but he doesn't have a pink ward to spot Samux.
Well, immediately, just, doesn't have a pink ward. He's just going to throw that circle down. I can never remember the name. Quick shot, certainly pull that name out just like that, just at the block and flick. And well, it is the Twilight Shroud, of course. Thank you very much. And they are going to dive on towards Darien. Remember, he's already used his ultimate to get the second dash. Will he manage to get the flip? He's got the ignite running down. Should be able to get another dash. Yes, he will do the flip. No, not quite enough. They're going to follow it through, and it's going to be the ultimate. Samux will pick that up. Meanwhile, where is Twisted Fate going?
Nowhere.
He didn't go anywhere, just purely used it for the vision.
Yeah, I was just helping out, giving that sight, but that double flash, maybe seeing it a little bit unnecessary, but still, in the end, if you're going to get a kill, it's not going to matter in the end. You're going to be like, oh, I wasted a flash, don't really care. But Alex getting pressured on the mid lane yet again, but they've been really trying to shut him down, yet he's still ahead in CS at this point. And in terms of overall gold, he's only down about 400.
Well, 10 minutes in, 3 kills apiece, very much even in gold. We do see Gambit, though, trying to start out possibly for the first dragon of the game. Here comes Thresh, and here comes Genja. They have passed the ward on the route, so they are aware this is happening. They're going to try and throw those wild cards out. Not going to happen, though. And that is the first dragon of the game going to Gambit.
And just to keep an eye on what Nazus is actually leveling up here, as we have 1 point in Siphon Strike, 1 point in Wither, and 4 points in Spirit Fire. So you can clear the camps quicker, get that extra armor pen to his team if they want to go for the damage on the person, go for a kill. But still, his Q, it was at, I believe, 54 early as we touched on it, now up to 105. So it is scaling so quickly, and it's only level 1 at this point. So you know how that damage is going to scale, and that kind of shows you how he's going to build. It's going to be basically straight tank, maybe even the Lock of the Iron Star for the extra cooldown reduction.
Well, we'll see whether, bearing in mind there is double AP champions, whether, unlike our American friends, they actually do build the Runic Bulwark that Jat was banging on about, really, is basically saying, why is nobody building this item? I don't understand. They are against double AP, of course, as Akali and Twisted Fate, so we'll see whether that does happen. And currently, this top lane, you know, could it keep snowballing? Will Morden manage to sneak in there? He's going to get spotted. You see Darien. Darien already used his ultimate. Didn't manage to sneak in this time.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of snowball, Kali should be losing this lane, but Morden's been at the top and the middle lane pretty much this entire game so far, just trying to keep those lanes ahead. We already have Exter, has the 2 kills, as I was saying before, in the mid lane, going for that Twin Shadows as his first item, and then Samix with that 1 kill in the Seeker's Arm Guard, even going for a Doran Shield just to make sure he does not die in lane, because if that happens, you know, Darren's going to just snowball that and get so far ahead, but playing it very exceptionally well so far. As you see, you know, Darren, he's just backing away. He knows he can't take Samix on anymore, at least not until the ultimate is back up in 80 seconds. And so far, just taking a look at CS, I mean, overall, Gambit is winning at this point.
Well, Giants, of course, are keeping the pressure on, though. Let's see whether Diamond does head back up north. He's going to be passing a ward any moment now, so you can see Samix is going to be as defensive as he can be. But are they at the level where they could dive him here? Oh, no.
I think potentially they could if the Twilight Shroud was down for Samix, but he's just giving that vision to Darien, since Morden's been sticking around the top side, as they actually are going head in the top lane, but Darien will back away in the mid lane, though. Alexey's getting caught again, does flash away.
The stun card comes in, the flip comes through, intervention is running. They're going to turn it back on towards Extermin. Extermin ruses out, just managed to get the slowdown, and it will be Morden, picks up the kill on Alexey once again.
That Twin Shadow, so sexy right there, as he knew he was getting slowed by Alex, popped that and was able to run away and allow Morden to pick up that kill. Such a great play, such great itemization out of Exter, and he's really showing his mastery of other AP champions besides Kassadin and Ryze.
Well, he's definitely switching things up here, and Giants showing their hand a little bit differently this time. We were used to seeing them such heavy crowd composition comp, and honestly, actually, they kind of have got CC, but they're just using it in a much different way. And they are working so well as a team. Those ganks are always being coordinated together so far.
And we do have to mention, though, because we've seen this happen time and time again, you can get that early lead, but can Giants hold that lead on? They did against Gambit last time. Can they do it again is the real question that we're going to find out very soon.
Of course, that first tower of the game did go down in the bottom here. That's made the goal even between the teams, but we do see Edward coming in once again. He's going to go towards Jim Bones, but he dodges out of the way of it. Going to keep the pressure on. Here comes Extermin. He's going to come in. Is it going to be Genja or is it going to be Edward? They turn towards. They do get the stun down on towards Genja. Flashes away there and manages to avoid the damage.
A great play by him to come down and really...
Here comes Edward, here comes Diamond, they're turning this around. Edward's going to come back in. He gets the hook on towards Babetta, throws down his ultimate, and that is game over. And Diamond Brox was the one that picked it up.
Such a great play by, oh, they're still going in for
Alex
it.
Alex comes in, the cleanse comes down. It's going to be the stun card on towards Diamond, but the intervention is available. Alex is just going to back away from this one, though, and could turn this one. The Dragon will be up in, I do not know when.
I think relatively soon. They've got it about 3-4 minutes ago, so you know, a couple more minutes it'll be back up, but still going to apply a lot of pressure towards this bottom lane. They want to get this turret down since they already lost their own and really get this gold lead in their favor. We do have
the flash from Jim Bones there, and he realized he was in a little bit of trouble. He could have got caught out from Alex Itcher. Instead, they're going to come back there. They have a creep wave, and they should force Gambit away from this turret. They don't want to lose it just yet.
And that's the power of Wither, as you saw right there. The cleanse was used earlier on the slow out of Alex Siege, but he's being forced to flash away, and if he can keep committing those, or sorry, if Diamond can keep committing those summoner spells to be used out of Jim Bones, he's going to be pushed out of the fight completely. It's all up to Samix and Exter to pretty much carry the fight themselves.
And here's Samix against another ulted up Darien there, just keeping out of his way. As soon as that ulti does run out, I expect Samix to go back in for this one. We can see Darien just playing it cautiously in this top lane. Samix may well go aggressive. You can see he's picked up that Hextech revolver, slowly building up, and there it is. That's what I was expecting, to dive in, puts that Twilight Shroud down once again, dives back on him again, and Darien realizes he can't fight this one now.
And Samix just getting too strong because of those early ganks, that early babysit out of Morden, I'll say, I guess is a bad word to use, but you know, taking a look at items, how they built up so far, we're seeing Darien do the kind of standard build. He's going to be going for, I'm assuming Sunfire Cake, because that's what he always likes to build up as his first major item. And we see over on Diamond, you know, looking at the Emblem of Valor done, we're going to see the Aegis coming out fairly shortly for him, and the Spirit Stone done as well, which we talked about last week, how it's really beneficial to pick it up early on and kind of just leave it at that for a while. We see the Bloodthirster done Ezreal, as he already has a longsword as well. And at the other side, the Twin Shadows, which we mentioned earlier, we see Morden going for health again. I mean, going for a Warmog, why not on Volibear, since you get that more damage off that W, off that Frenzy whenever you get that extra health.
So, bot lane for Gambit. They are continuing the farm, and Genja actually still ahead in farm, just about at the moment on Ezreal. 1-0-1, of course, as well, so the gold advantage very much in his favor along with that dragon they did pick up. The dragon will be spawning in 4 seconds time, though, so Giants are starting to gather for this one, as are Gambit. Who really is in the better position right now?
I really have to say both teams have a potential to win this fight. It just kind of comes down to who is better at team fighting in general, which I think I have to give over to Gambit. The Naza slow is going to be really crucial, as Jimbone's going to be completely out of this fight. He doesn't have cleanse, doesn't have that flash to get away. We have a blue buff on Alex. Looking over X3, he has one as well, but Alex is going to be doing quite a bit of damage.
Well, they are split. They got 4 down the bottom, 1 up the top. Of course, Darian could come in from the top lane, but the pincer move is not always one that works.
Well, we've seen it happen actually for him quite a bit. He does get engaged on the top side.
They're getting cold onto him. They do manage to flip him across, and Samux tries to come in, but they haven't got enough damage. The intervention comes in just at the right time. This could well get turned very much in towards Giants, and Gambit do manage to bait them in here. Can they catch anyone out? Babetta's taken low. He gets hooked in. Edward manages to throw down his ultimate, but immediately crescendo, but it's going to be Babetta that goes down, and it's Gambit that make first blood.
And Edward, the big playmaker right there. Actually, I don't think the fight is just over just yet, as Giants still looking to try to be aggressive here, but they're pretty much just outnumbered. We still have Jimbo's on the side, though, and using that Thresh Lantern to get back over the side, but that was such a great play out of Edward, because he popped his ultimate, which surrounded Babetta, and then he knocked him into it to pretty much guarantee that slow. Great play by him in general. And real quick, we do have to touch on, he has 63 souls, which means he has 53 extra bonus armor and ability power. That is insane to have on a support.
Well, as it stands, nobody went for the dragon, though, so dragon's still available. Expect to see Giants returning back here, maybe. Gambit did manage to trade and pick up the kill on that support. Babetta kind of out of position, which left Jim Bones out of position. He did use his ace in the hole, but he'll be back available in a moment. And you can see Diamond again pings from Gambit. They want to re-engage back on the dragon.
Yeah, with the whole way Gambit kind of is going about these team fights, which we've seen happen with Darren, they pretty much let him be the initiate, let him soak up all the damage. They pop intervention on top of that, and with his ultimate, he can stay alive for a really long time. And then he also can re-initiate if he wants to a little bit later on, which I try to think of the game in specific. I think it was at Intel Q-Masters Katowice where he did that against Fnatic, but it's such a strong champion because he has a slice and ice, and he really excels at
play at dragon there. You can see it's actually Jim Bones that went in. He tried to leash out the dragon. Diamond's like, I don't think so. You're not going to let you get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crucial part now. Gold's so close. We're 18 minutes in. We already had one dragon going over to Gambit. And whoever can get this one will really get a nice I have to say, comfortable lead because of how much gold we're approaching for each person. We have 1,500 sitting on Genja. We have almost 1,200 on Alex each. On the other side, we have 1,000 on Jim Bones and 1,100 on Morden. But it's going to be started. They are being spotted. And in the mid lane, we do Twist Fate going in.
They've gone in towards Genja and is trying to catch him out on the tower. They do manage to pick up the kill, but will they trade it? The dragon hasn't actually been picked up just yet. And Gambit tried to return and respond to this one, but they were without their AD carry. And we see Samux going in. Intervention on Alex 6. Alex has to flip away. Morden's going to get taken down very low. Samux trying to take Alex down off the side of the screen, but Alex has managed to escape. And now Edward and Diamond turn on their attention towards him. The stun card, the slow card comes out. Samux is going to have a burst of damage any second now. We do see them get away. Oh, the hook onto his exterminate pulls him into the turret, but it's not going to land. And well, another close exchange. It's a 1-for-1, but this time it's a jungler for AD, and Giants are going to turn and burn, try and pick up the dragon.
And they should have the damage to do that. They're missing their smite, which is a really key factor, but it doesn't matter anyways. Gambit backing away. And Alex, I mean, that really was a great play by him because he noticed that Samux had no more charges left to get to him, and with that, he was able to escape, and then Samux had to use that defensively to just kind of run away for his own self. So now we're tied up in dragons. Giants, they're down only by 500 gold right now and 1 kill, but they do have that turret advantage, and I won't be too surprised to see Gambit start making a play on some turrets because they have the ability to tank the turrets if they need to, and also take them down extremely quickly.
Well, we do see, of course, the CS advantage is generally in towards Gambit. The AD carry is the only shining light currently for Giants. He has got just 10 CS advantage. Samux, of course, is going to clear out this top wave and try and close that gap a little bit, but he is 25 CS behind as it stands. Gambit, oh, they've left the middle turret open, and that is just... that's a bad mistake by Giants there, because that turret is such a huge, huge pinnacle, and they just, everybody backed away from that one.
Yeah, great awareness out of Gambit to just pretty much make a play off of the mistake that Giants had. We have, Samux on the top side. He pushed the lane out, but he didn't try to get the turret down since obviously we saw Gambit backing away from the middle lane, but I mean, Giants, they're starting to let the game slip. They had the advantage early on, even if they weren't necessarily up in gold the entire time. But now they're just starting to seem to fall behind. That dragon could help catch them back into the game. But with the way Gambit's been playing these team fights, it's just phenomenal how well synchronized Gambit is.
Oh, we see the red buff going across towards Genja. Blue buff has just been given across to Alex Hitch, so everybody will be returning to the game. We do see Aegis of the Legion, of course, being picked up by Diamond Prox. No mistakes from Gambit. They're going for that Runic Bulwark.
I heard the Runic Bulwark is good against WP comps, Demon.
I've heard it's pretty good as well. Maybe some teams could learn from this. Who knows? As it is, 6-5 in kills. An advantage currently with Gambit, but only just. Darien again against Samax, and immediately that Twilight Shroud thrown down as soon as the ultimate comes out from Darien. Has to use the ultimate of his own, though,
Diamond
to try and get away, and Diamond Prox is going to come in. Samax has to get back away from this one. He has got the help of Morden coming in. The stun comes down, though. Should be enough. Spirit Fire, the one more Q should be enough, and there is the kill. Morden comes in. It's a little too late. We do see Edward trying to hack on towards Babetta now. Babetta's coming around. Jim Bones in there. Jim Bones might get caught out. Has the net shot away. Wow, the Q coming from Edward. So close.
I think I peed a little bit there. That was so close. And we saw Gambit finally making that play that we were talking about before. We have Extra trying to counter it with that mid lane push. Genja was sitting
He's in trouble. He's in trouble. Extermin, he's going to try an ulti. Oh, he does. He zips away, turns it around, goes towards Edward. Edward puts his ultimate down. The crescendo is perfectly placed there from Babetta, and they do manage to get the kill. Now on towards Diamond. They have enough damage to work him down. The stun card comes out. Diamond Prox is going to get dropped. Yes, he is. He goes down. Now Genja's in trouble. Meanwhile, Gambit are coming around the backside. Can they close him off? Alex Hitch is going to come around. Has not got flash available. He will be up in just a second. Will he be able to close that distance? He's going to turn it towards Morden. Darien's trying to keep Morden busy, but Morden's trying to flip on towards Darien. They come dashing through. Samax is there. The damage is there, but Alex should be able to intervention on towards Darien. Will it be enough? No, because he got stunned down. Now Alex is in trouble. Alex goes down. Beautiful team play from Giants.
And I think that was overall 4 for 0 for Giants, getting the actually not even getting the gold lead, but getting the kill lead off that. So well played by Extra. He was definitely the MVP of that fight. You saw him get caught, but he teleported into the backside of his team, ended up catching Edward with that gold card, took him down, and kept hitting those gold cards one after another to really open up that entire fight. And Giants, they're not giving up without a fight.
Wow, great play from Giants there, turning the game into their advantage. 2-2 in turrets, dead even in gold, 9-7 in kills, and this is on a knife edge once again. 23.5 minutes gone. Who said the LCS was boring? That's the question. Who is setting themselves up? Who has the better items right now?
Well, just look at them overall. We have a lot of tankiness built up for Gambit. We have, Nasus, who is just a tanky beast because of his ultimate. He gets extra health. We have Darien as well with that Warmog's done and the Hex Drinker to get that little bit of extra magic resist. When the Runic Bulwark's done, they're going to be unstoppable. Looking over at Alex, I mean, he has his Nashor's Tooth done. He has a Haunting Guise, even has a Blasty one on top of that. So he does quite a bit of damage, but the intervention, unfortunately, didn't work out too well for him last time. And looking over the other side, we have the Infinity's Edge done for Jim Bones. Oh, yeah, Twist Fate going down the bot lane.
Going in towards Genja, but he already Arcane shifts away, turns it back around, puts the stun card down on towards Diamond Prox. Remember, he did manage to wither on towards him. True Shot Barrage flashes across, but it didn't catch Extermin first, went through a giant wave of creeps first.
And going back to what you're saying about items, we do have the Hextech Gunblade done for Akali. I think overall the items are fairly similar. It just depends on how each team approaches these team fights, because it's really anyone's game. We have Samix. Oh, he gets caught by Edward.
He gets hooked in there, but I'm not too sure they've got the damage to try and turn this one around. Puts the ping ward down, but Alex was not quite close enough. And well, Edward making the plays, but the rest of his team couldn't respond quick enough.
That was so perfectly well played with him. Fortunately, yeah, you were saying his team wasn't really in a position to make a big play off of that. We still have a lot of turrets available for each team. I mean, we're 25 minutes in and only 4 turrets been taken through this entire game. No tier 2s just yet. But it looks like both teams, they don't really want to commit to these team fights. They still want to pick each other off because they're both not sure who can really win in a head-on-head 5-on-5.
Darien going in towards his top lane, putting pressure on Morden, but Morden is simply a placeholder, and now Samax comes in. There's the flip. Could they dive onto the turret? They see the Hextech Gunblade going straight off there. They're not going to dive, though. He did use it to poke him down.
Yeah, we do have Caitlyn in the bot lane being just very aggressive. He's been down there for so long lately. He has that CS lead finally in his own favor, and he's really trying to keep someone from Gambit down there, not allowing them to go for a 5-man push. And with Extra there waiting on the sidelines, they're maybe even trying to pick up a kill or two as they do back away. The Lich Bane now done for Extra, so he has that extra bit of oomph in his damage. We do have the top lane daring in a back away, so they will give away that turret. And that helps give Giants even more of a gold lead.
Samax trying to dive onto him just before he backed away. That's going to be the turret going down. Dragon just spawning, and look at that. Diamond pouring the Spirit Fire down. You're just a couple of seconds too early there.
Yeah, just a couple of seconds, but still, they're punishing Giants. They're going for that turret. They're going to even it out here by picking that up, hopefully. I mean, it all depends on if they can kill it quick enough, but Edward And with the souls he's collected so far, sitting at 86, he has a lot of AP built up. He has a lot of armor built up. And we do have a Beta coming in from the side. Just maybe put a ward down, but it'd be a little bit too late. And that is a second. Oh, he lands the hook!
Does manage to land the hook on towards, but better the true shot barrage rattles past, and that's Diamond Prox that picks up the kill. All too easy. Samux, meanwhile, trying to get in there and steal the blue buff, but Darian managed to get it away. Will he manage to land the stun? He's going to continue chasing. He's got Alex Ditch coming up the river as well. Samux in all sorts of trouble now. He's going to get caught out of position. He can't do a great deal against Darian here. The help is coming in the form of Morden. Is it going to be quick enough? The ignite, the flash. Can they continue chasing through? Here comes Morden to save the day. No! Darian catches him just at the right moment. Beautifully done.
And in the meantime, Gambit's making a play on this mid lane turret. We have Twisted Fate popping that ultimate. Might come down. Yeah, he's coming in towards the mid side. They might be able to close in on them here. And it will be a 3-on-3.
He comes around the side. Edward, though, is going to continue chasing. Morden goes in the intervention on towards Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox does manage to get away, but Alex Ditch is in trouble now at the top of the screen. He's going to continue chasing. Edward's going to get taken down very low. Morden should finish him off there. Weiss in the hole coming through. No. Gets blocked off nicely, but Darian may pay for it with his life. Gets flipped in there. Alex Ditch back in. Alex has not got intervention. Stun card comes through. Alex is going to go down, and wow, another 1-for-1 trade. This is crazy.
And I really have to say, Giants are starting to throw this game because Genja, has he been in any of these?
He's going to flash. Oh, the stun card on Darian, not enough.
Not enough indeed, but where's Genja been for all these fights? He has not been there to help out, to turn the tides of this game. He's just been farming at that bottom side. He does have that last whisper done, though. So
Baron. They are going Baron. This is a turn and burn run. Ballsy play. Maybe a mistake here from Giants. I don't know, because they are going to get back here in time. True Shot Barrage is back available. They'll surely shoot that off in a moment.
Oh, that Baron going on very quickly. Then they do have words of spot Gambit coming in. They could take this down before it's over.
Well, they're going to come in. True Shot Barrage just come across, helps them out, and this is going to be Giants to pick it up. But, well, they're going to have to pass through that Spirit Fire. Can they escape? No. But Beta will pay for it with his life. The rest of the team should escape this one. But what will Gambit pick up? They're all going to have to back off here. Gambit can surely just pile up the mid.
Yeah, but taking one for the team there, that was honestly a smart play by him to just go down for scene, let the 4 damage dealers escape. And Gambit, they're going to make a play here on this mid turret. It's very low already, down to 3rd health, and they will be able to secure a little bit of gold off of that, but still, a Baroned up Giants, with already how scary they are, it'll be really troublesome for them.
It's going to be troublesome. They are going to lose that middle inner turret. That's a 3-for-3 now in the turrets. And again, the gold very much even. 10-10 in kills. 30 minutes approaching for this. And we do see Gambit turning around towards that bottom lane.
Wow,
they should
crits.
pick up the inner turret. But as it is, Giants with a Baron are just surely going to push one of these lanes. Will they pile down mid? Will Gambit respond to this one? They're going to get that inner turret. Can they continue through? I don't think they're going to have to back out.
No, still a smart play in the end by Gambit. They ended up taking the gold lead back in their favor by picking up those 2 turrets. And they made something out of nothing right there with that kill with those 2, well, like I said, turrets. But still, it all comes down to who has the stronger...
might get caught out here. Gambit are starting to come around. They're routing towards the backside. They're on the blue buff, actually, but Samix is going to get caught out. Dutch managed to throw down. And whoa, he's going to get taken so low. Immediately gets spotted out because he couldn't escape. They do manage to catch full vision of him. I didn't see the pink wall go down, but it must have been. It's the Oracle on Diamond.
Yeah, and that's what they needed, because if they can pick Samix off, they're pretty much shutting down, I have to say, about 60% of their damage, because he does so much with the items he's currently sitting on right now. He's going for that Raw Crystal Scepter. And Gambit, even though they're going against a Baroned up Giant, is going to be taking yet another turret and keeping this aggression pushed up against them.
They're keeping on here, just coming into the 30-minute mark. The Spirit Fire just keeping them at bay. The hook on towards Morden there, yanking him in towards the wall.
It's like catching a fish.
Just hooking it straight in there. And Gambit so aggressive now. They pulled on as a 5-man team. And Giants just keep getting caught out around the map. That's something they can't afford to do. Look at the damage on Jim Bones there. Just one simple Q shot from Genja.
And he's sitting at 3-0-1 at this point. The Infinity's Edge, the Fan Dance are done. He's sitting on another 2,000 gold. So when he backs, he's going to have most likely that Last Whisper coming up. Actually, well, there's not even a lot of armor on the other team, but still they have a lot of tankiness. I still say he should be going for that item next. We do have Dragon coming up in about 2 minutes, but Giants, like you were saying, they're getting caught. And it seems like for no reason, for a little bit of farm on the bot lane, when he could just group up, push down potentially some of these inner turrets.
Well, as it is, we do see Gambit backing off, and let's see what Giants now, after having a period of being defensive with the Baron, what they do. It was almost a Baron of opportunity that was picked up, and finally they are going to be able to group up and do something. But honestly, I don't see any advantages they can gain.
It's all about getting... I mean, they can force a fight, but it's really...
But look at the situation. I mean, Gambit, with that Oracle, have just swept the entire map and cleared it out. There's not a single aggressive ward out for Giants so far.
I mean, yeah, it's very true, but we still have 2, or I think it's 3 Baron buffs still left on the Giants side. if they can get Morden in there, maybe they pick up Australia's, give him that extra speed with the Sona E as well. If he can get one pulled out, they're going to kill him instantly. You're going to have Samix in the backside of the fight. Has to be very careful because we saw Wicked fall into the same kind of thing where if you go into the back of the fight and they have an Oracle there, you're gonna die. So you have to play very cautious. You have to know that beforehand. But it's all about Morden. He is the initiate for their team. Lex Exter picks up Azonia's to, was it Messiah who ults in the backside, pops at Azonia's and then baits the team into fighting him. But still, Gambit getting just that much more tanky. The damage items coming out. We even have a Blade of the Rune King done for Genja, which is such a strong item and really is kind of underused, but you've seen a lot more play lately as you see Diamond playing with that lantern.
Well, they are playing with the lantern. The dragon will be up in 20 seconds. Diamond Proc still with that Oracle. Troopsing down the bottom there. Red buff going to be given across to Genja. And Giants are in position for this one. Babetta has just gone back up. Blue buff is going to get given across to Extermin with that Lich Bane and the Rabadon's Death Cap, as well as that Twin Shadows he had earlier on. So, Gambit and Giants, who wants this fight at Dragon? Because it looks like both teams are looking to it.
Well, it looks like Gambit has the real timing on it as they're going for it without even being contested. And just looking at it right now, I mean, because Demon, we're at the point where if you lose a team fight here, you're most likely going to lose the game because of how late it is, how long the respawn timers are, and how much advantage the other team gets. And one thing that's really also interesting is that Alex, he's not going for a auto attack kind of build. He's going for more of a bursty build, which we saw Shushe do at the European qualifiers.
Well, we're going to see Samax show himself in that top lane, clear it out. Gambit as a full team stacking through that mid lane. I was a little worried for Extermin there because I thought he may well show himself in that bottom, but he is being so cautious as well on Twisted Fate. Despite the fact he's got that ulti to get away, he's obviously aware of the fact that he could get caught out. So Baron has worn off now for Giants, and it's looking to me like Gambit are the stronger of the two teams. Yeah,
and the thing is that Giants, with the Twist of Fate, like I mentioned in the bot side, they can split push all day they want to, but the problem is Giants doesn't have a strong team to fend off initiate out of Gambit. Yeah, you have the Crescendo, but that's honestly about it. Yeah, and it's doing what Twist of Fate really should do. And it's really creating opportunities for him as Genja is coming down towards the bottom side. Use the ultimate for vision.
Put a lot of damage down. Uses his ultimate for the vision, like you say. And he has managed to get a lot of damage down. There's the ultimate used to just make that gap between the two. And he's going to back off and buy himself some more items. So, turret-wise, it's 5-3 currently for Gambit. They have that lead. They've built up around about a 2,000 gold advantage. It was dead even split at the 28-minute mark. But in that 5 minutes, they've managed to claw out 2K in gold. Of course, those turrets going down. Facing up against Giants with the Baron. The question is, will they keep being aggressive? Will they catch someone out? Oh, it's Jim Bones getting on towards Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox taking down half hit points, a third hit points. Samax is going to dive in. He tries to turn him burn. Can he get in towards Darian? Samax taken. Oh no, the True Shot barrage flashes past from Genja there. Picks up a double kill. Morton going to go down. It's going to be another. And that's Alex Itch that picks it up. Jim Bones tries to get away, but he's going to get dropped as well. That's a double kill for Alex Itch. And just like that, it's a 4-for-0.
And that's what we're talking about, that big moment. If you lose that fight, Giants got baited in, unfortunately, right there. We saw Samus getting a little too cocky, trying to go in for Diamond to close up that kill, but he had an Oracle on him. We even see one on Edward at this point, and Gambit gonna be able to pick up this turret from that, and just overall so well played by them. Diamond, he escaped by the skin of his teeth right there, but that's what he does best, or if we're gonna be honest.
Well, that's why you have Alex Itch with intervention on the team. That is why Kale is rated so highly, because that skill will save you. Just as a team commits too heavily, they manage to get caught out and they're straight away done. Crescendo used there. Is it going to be enough to save the Nexus to it? No, it is not. That's one down. Genji wants to take the second, but he's not going to happen. He's going to have to back away, but that was a great pickup for Gambit.
And Baron now available. We have, was it all 5 members heading over towards that to take this, and with a Twist Fate ulti, it's going to show their hand, show exactly what they're going for. But it doesn't really matter at this point. Gambit, they have a lot of gold if we can show you that on your screen. 2,800 gold right now on Alex Itch. We have 2,300 onto Genja, and even 1,200 on Edward. It's just, there's not really, I mean, they just have the freedom to pretty much bait them in since they have that middle inhibitor down now, and then buy these big items when they finally do decide to go back.
Well, they did manage to disrupt the Baron. They've managed to keep them at bay. And Giants still, they are a strong force.
They need to back out.
If they manage to get into a 5v5 fight, the question is, can they get into one? Yeah, and immediately they use that speed of Babetta to get the hell out of
It's
dodge.
the Crescendo being down. I mean, it was a smart play by him to use it on to make sure that at least one Nexus turret stays alive. But without that available, there's no hope for them to win these fights. So they have to make sure they go in with everything up as possible, or everything up. We do have actually Edward going for a Twin Shadows. A little interesting pickup on his part, just to keep them a little bit extra slow so they can chase them down that much better, especially with the Wither on top of that, not to mention the slow on Alex Each and the stun out of Darien. It's going to be really hard for anyone Giants to really disengage here. And Samix, he's being shut down in these fights because of these oracles we're seeing Gambit pick up.
Well, he's not really been able to get into the fights, and they're just so tanky right now, Gambit. Obviously, Diamond and Darien in that front line. You're not going to generally get past it because he uses that Wither, manages to slow him down. More than they're trying to find them, but they can't manage to pick them out. Gambit are not being caught out. Normally, and I've said this many, many times in the past, oh, Darien, what are you doing out of position? But he is not falling for that this time. He's got his buddy, Diamond, backing him up.
And even Alex with the intervention every once in a while just to keep him alive. But with that Oracle, they are going to keep the division out of our Giants' side here. They do have the ultimate on Twist Fate coming up fairly shortly. They know it is being done, but can they really do anything about it, Demon? That is the question.
Well, Genja nearly got himself out of position, but he has, of course, got that Baron. There goes the Twin Shadows being used out by Extermin, but Twin Shadows, as you mentioned by Edward, could slow things down with that Wither as well on towards Morden.
There it is.
Samux is desperately trying to come out. There's the Twin Shadows. He's going to catch on towards Morden. The slow will come down. Oh, the hook not quite landing, and they should be able to escape just in time. The stun card comes out. A lot of damage actually going on towards Diamond Prox there, but again, oh, they're going to try and turn this one. Giants want the fight now. They realize it. They did take half the hit points down off Diamond. Is it going to be enough? Ace in the Hole's going to come out. That lands on towards Darien. And now, this is actually a pretty even fight.
Yeah, Jim Bones, the damage he's doing right now with his 3 currently built items, that Last Whisper pretty much paying dividends. Even though Diamond doesn't have any armor, just he's playing more of a support type jungler with the Wither and even the damage off his Q, which he's just letting build up naturally. But he is really their saving factor since Samix can't get into the back line. Like, even if he does get into the back line, who's he going to kill? You could potentially pick up Genja, yes, but you have the intervention, you have Edward to protect him, and you also have a Banshee's Veil built on Genja, just for the hell of it, to stop that crescendo, and not to mention the flippity-floppy out of Morden.
Oh, I tell you what, they're going to go for Baron here, and Babetta is long gone, and this could well be a Baron. Easy pickup for Gambit. This is going to have to be a steal here from Giants because there's nothing else they can do to try and stop this one. Oh, the hook on Jim Bones! Jim Bones is going to get taken down, and surely that would be the game. I don't think there's a lot they can do about this one. Baron now picked up for Gambit. They're going to turn and run. Edward's coming in, maybe thinking of getting a hook on towards Morden. Instead, he turns back towards Samix. They spot him. He backs away just in time.
And look how tanky that Edward's gotten throughout this entire game with his 113 souls built up. He has 178 armor and 2,800 health. Like, that's a support. That's not a support anymore. That's your tank.
And this is why we were talking about. This is why Jat was getting so damn excited, because we expected this to be played. This is what we expected. The new support king could well be Thresh. But nobody else played it. Nobody really worked with it, but Edward is making it work.
And that's what you have to do in Season 3. You have to be able to adapt with new champions, new changes, everything. We do have a Void Step picked up for Exeter, but it might seem a little bit too late. They're going to get the second inhibitor here, and Giants, they're not able to engage against this Baroned up team, not to mention the shields they currently have with that Lantern, with the lock of the Iron Solari.
And there is Morden. There's not a lot they can do about this one. They're going to push on towards that final Nexus turret. The damage is surely not going to be enough for Giants. They're going to try and drive it through. Samix has been hooked in. There's not a lot they can do about that one. Crescendo goes out. They're trying to keep them at bay. True Shot barrage back across Jim Bones. Jim Bones getting picked down by Genja there. He has to run towards the fountain. The Nexus turret goes down, and the Nexus will follow as Gambit Gaming should close out the final victory, forcing them all onto the fountain. But that is the game. The Russian overlords are back in the house, and they do take down the Spanish armada of the Giants. It was a close-run game. You've got to give credit to Giants, but, well, once again, Gambit proved themselves innovators in League of Legends.
And you still have to give credit, though, to Giants. That was, as you're saying, a very well played out game, but then we even saw a Twisted Fate played for Exeter, which I don't think we've ever seen. But still, they have to be very proud of it. They can't really be too ashamed at all because they played extremely well for pretty much 90% of that game.
Well, there we see the team shaking hands, and we are going to pass across to our experts. The question is, what will they make of Thresh being picked for the first time in Europe?
Well,